mission of building a better connected Nepal to empower every Nepali. We've been in Nepal for the past 22 years, and our goal is to make sure that every Nepali is connected to the internet with high-quality broadband. We're a leading provider of ICT infrastructure and smart devices with over 195,000 employees throughout the world. We have a presence in over 170 countries and regions, number 44 on the Fortune Global 500, number 2 in R&D investment in the world, and more than half our employees are involved in R&D. The vision and mission of the company is to bring digital to every person, home, and organization for a fully connected, intelligent world. We focus on ICT to provide products and solutions and services to 3 customer groups. We have consumers who are a big fan of our wearables, our smartphones, our smart home devices. We work with all the major carriers throughout the world. In Nepal, we're working with NTC and Ncell. And we have a growing enterprise business where we're helping in the digital transformation of private enterprises, commercial banks, and then we have a growing cloud business providing public cloud services throughout the world, and it's fast growing in the Asia-Pacific region. As for Nepal, we've been serving the country for the past 22 years. We entered Nepal in 2000. We were the first to introduce 4G in Nepal. Our equipment is now connecting over 29 million people of Nepal, and more than 220 subcontractor teams have been working with us. We have a local team of over 200 people. We are actively participating in the ICT industry development in Nepal. We have been introducing the latest technologies in Nepal, and we're constantly focused on network maintenance, no matter what the circumstances. Even in the difficult time of the COVID period, we have been contributing to the Nepalese ICT sector. We were involved in the network maintenance throughout the lockdown period. We were continuously deploying 4G expansion with our operator partners. We were helping the digital transformation of different enterprises. And we have been fulfilling our social responsibility as a corporate citizen, of which the Seeds for the Future program is our flagship CSR program. Okay, a bit about Seeds for the Future. Seeds for the Future has the mission of inspiring global talents to shape the future. It was first launched in 2008 in Thailand. It has now spread to over 137 countries and regions. It has received endorsements from 189 senior officials and heads of states. Over 12,000 students from all over the program, or from all over the world, have participated in the program. And last year, we introduced our first Tech for Good global competition, and I will go into the Tech for Good competition in the next few slides. Last year, we had 3,500 participants from 118 countries. The graduation rate was 73%, a female participation rate was 37%, and a total of 1,352 stakeholders attended Seeds events, triggering over 4,000 plus Seeds for the Future related media reports globally. Last year, we also launched the program for the first time, and here is a quick summary of what we did last year. So last year, we had an online class with international peers. Because COVID was still around, we could not do an on-site program. We had a trip to a Huawei-built 4G base station in Ghandruk. We had classes on Ncell's corporate strategy, and we also had classes on FTTH networks by our business partner Dishom, and some of the alumni are also here in the audience, and they know that I like them very much. So last year, the program received wonderful endorsement from officials in Nepal. We had endorsements from the Honorable State Minister of Ministry of Education, Science and Technology, and also the Honorable Minister. They had wonderful things to say about the program, and our selection committee has always been very, very supportive throughout the program as well. And this year, the first on-site program is happening from August 19th to August 27th. It is happening in Bangkok. And then we have the Tech for Good Accelerator Camp. So in Bangkok, we also have the Tech for Good competition, the regional competition. And if Nepal happens to win the regional competition, we'll move forward and go to the Tech for Good Accelerator Camp happening in Singapore. So we're looking for, at the beginning of June this year, May 31st. We were looking for 7 undergraduate students from any ICT-related academic background with excellent academic records, interest in ICT telecoms technology issues, and a great enthusiasm for learning and good English language ability. And after a very competitive selection process, we have 7 brilliant students who are here in the audience somewhere. Where are you guys? Yeah, there you go. So our 7 brilliant students are at the back for some reason. So We had our application website, seedsnepal.com, which we launched on a press release on May 31st. We reached out to colleges and universities to solicit applications, and we received 256 applications in 26 days, which was very overwhelming, and of which we have the top 7. We also had social media promotions going, and some of our students saw this, knew about this program through our social media. And we have our 7 finalists. So these are our 7 brilliant students, our Seeds for the Future 2022 cohort. Nirman Khorka, BTech in AI from Kathmandu University. Ria Boitya, Bachelor's in Computer Engineering, Pulchok Campus. Pragya Malik, Bachelor's in Electrical and Electronics Engineering, Kathmandu University. Bangsach Paudel, Bachelor's in Computer Application, Madan Bhandari Memorial College. Nadika Paudel, Bachelor's in Computer Engineering, Pulchok Campus. Jatin Busal, Bachelor's in Computer Engineering, Khopa Engineering College. And Aju Thamang, Bachelor's in CSIT, Amrit Science Campus. So these are brilliant students, and they will be participating in the regional on-site program. We've also done a couple of other things with them. Besides this, besides the regional on-site program, we also have local learning engagements for them. So our goal is to make sure that they understand the ICT industry globally and also in Nepal. So we've had engagements with the UNESCO here, and we've also had engagements with our other business partners. We had a visit to Encel's data center where our students got to learn about how a data center operates and what the data center business is in Nepal like. We are also having engagements with the UNESCO. So the UNESCO office in Nepal is working with our Seeds alumni and this year's Seeds for the Next 50 campaign. And we had visit to the China Culture Center where our students have a lot of fun doing Chinese calligraphy, Chinese paper cutting. I learned I was very bad at paper cutting. So besides that, we also had our recent event at Dish Home. So Dish Home FiberNet is our ISP partner, and they were we were very grateful to them that they incorporated our students and gave them a basic class on how fiber internet works. So what we'll be doing in the next few weeks. So अब आउँदो बिहीबार चाहिँ हामी हाम्रो first regional on-site programमा चाहिँ हाम्रो विद्यार्थीहरूलाई लिएर Thailand गइरहेका छौं. So it is our first regional offline Seeds program. So after 3 years, we have an on-site program. So all participants will be arriving to Thailand on August 18th. And we have workshops, we have the Tech for Good competition. This is actually the detailed agenda, which I am not going to go through, but the overall summary of the program is, so we will be discussing, we have classes on 5G, AI, cloud computing, metaverse, digital innovation, sustainability, leadership. So all these major topics will be covered in the Thailand program. We will also be visiting the UNESCO office in Bangkok. We also have Huawei's Open Lab visit planned, and we'll be communicating with ICT experts and having discussions with mentors who will help shape the idea that the students have into reality. And we have the Global Village, where participants from 14 different countries will exchange culture. So the overall goal of the program is to learn about cutting-edge ICT knowledge and discuss trending topics with experts, work with like-minded people to create technology for good project, the Tech for Good project, get insights into cutting-edge technology companies and international organizations to develop an international perspective, and experience different cultures, make friends from around the world, develop valued skills such as intercultural communication, adaptability, and problem solving. So, but this is not a program where the students go and just learn. They will also have the opportunity to sell their idea, basically. So we have the Tech for Good group project. So our students from this year have already developed a fantastic idea, and we have a presentation on what that project is going to be about. The whole idea of this project is to leverage technology to address social and or environmental issues. So the students will be divided into groups of 5 to 10 each. The key learning outcomes is to ensure that social entrepreneurship skills are increased, understand trends on how technology can assist solving complex global challenges, and building problem solving and leadership skills, deepening personal mission and a sense of social responsibility. So the students will also have a mentor who will guide them throughout the entire competition, and if they win, then the winning teams from Bangkok will move on to Singapore for the Tech for Good accelerator camp happening in Singapore. So in Singapore, they will have face-to-face interaction with mentors, exposure to real-life cases, understanding of real business operations, helping to enhance business thinking and refining project design so that their idea can become an actual product at the end of the day. So they will also have a good networking opportunity. We'll be where they'll be meeting with Asia's leading entrepreneurs and also investors, so receiving professional project advice and guidance. And they will also have the chance to upgrade their project based on the feedback that they received so that we have an excellent product. We also have a global alumni. We have a LinkedIn group where all our students are already a member. We have over 4,000 members, I think, the last time I checked. So the LinkedIn alumni group will also be hosting regular events so that the alumni can stay in touch with each other. That's basically the whole idea. So, Seeds for the Future, a quick summary. 2022, this is the second year we've launched this program in Nepal. We have 7 wonderful students. You will also be hearing from a few of them later in the program. We're doing our first regional on-site program this year in Thailand, and I'm very excited. I'm sure the students are also very excited. We'll be spending about 10 days in Thailand, and I hope they take me to Singapore, because if they win in Bangkok, I get to go to Singapore. Otherwise, I don't get to go to Singapore. So good luck with that. And yeah, so that's it from my presentation. And thank you again for joining us today. I think we'll now move on to the second agenda. We are very honored here today to have the respected Secretary of the MOCIT, Dr. Boykunta Aryal, as our guest of honor. So I'd like to invite him on stage for his address. Please welcome him with a huge round of applause.
Thank you, Supalji. Shall I speak in Nepali or English? What is the language? Is it? So can I go in Nepali? Okay, thank you. अगाडिको रोमा बसिराख्नुभएका सम्पूर्ण महानुभावहरू, एनटिएको चेयरम्यान भर्खर आइपुग्नु भएको छ। मैले नै स्वागत गरेँ। र आज यहाँ उपस्थित हुनुभएका सम्पूर्ण यङ माइन्ड्स लगायत यो फिल्डमा कुनै न कुनै हिसाबमा जोडिनुभएका सम्पूर्ण महानुभावहरू एकमुष्ट मेरो तर्फबाट नमस्कार। सर्वप्रथम यो यस्तो खाले प्रोग्राम आफ्नो CSRबाट कर्पोरेट सोशल रेस्पोन्सिबिलिटीको बाटोबाट फ्युचरका लागि जुन सिड रोप्ने भन्ने कुरो गर्नुभएको छ, त्यसको लागि हुवावेलाई धेरै धेरै धन्यवाद दिन्छु। एक्चुअली थ्याङ्क्स टु हुवाई फर द इनिसिएटिभ फर इन्करेजिङ यङ इनोभेटिभ सुपर माइन्ड्स, होइन। त्यसैले उनीहरूलाई चाहिँ नि जुन हिसाबले चाहिँ ग्रो अप गर्ने र अनि त्यसपछि एउटा फ्युचर लिडर इन द IT फिल्ड बनाउनको लागि जुन सहयोग गर्ने भनेर जुन लाग्नु भएको छ र 2008 देखि आजसम्म आइपुग्दाखेरि यो कामहरू गर्नुभएको छ, त्यसको लागि धेरै धेरै धन्यवाद दिन चाहन्छु। अब टेक्नोलोजीसँग रिलेटेड कम्पनीले आफ्नो कोर फिल्ड त एउटा छँदैछ, सँगसँगै हामीले यसमा त्यो अनुसारका फ्रेसरलाई मौका पनि दिनुपर्छ, उनीहरूलाई ग्रुम गर्नलाई पनि मौका दिनुपर्छ, ग्रुम गर्न सहयोग गर्नुपर्छ भनेर जुन एजेन्डा अगाडि सारेर आउनुभयो, त्यसको लागि पनि हार्दिक धन्यवाद दिन्छु। सबैभन्दा धेरै आज बधाई दिनुपर्ने पात्रहरू भनेको सेलेक्टेड 7 जना पात्र हुनुहुन्छ, जसलाई हाम्रो सेलेक्सन कमिटीले डिफ्रेन्ट एङ्गलबाट डिफ्रेन्ट डाइमेन्सन्सबाट हेरेर सेलेक्ट गर्नुभएको छ। साँच्चीकै यहाँहरू बधाईका पात्र हुनुहुन्छ। यु आर द क्रिम अफ द क्रिम्स। त्यसैले यहाँहरूलाई धेरै धेरै बधाई छ। र यो बधाई चाहिँ कतिखेर पनि सार्थक हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि तपाईँहरू अहिले त यो एउटा इन्करेजमेन्टको पाटोमा हुनुहुन्छ, यसलाई आफ्नो कार्यक्षेत्रमा भोलिमा लगेर यसलाई सर्लक्क उतार्नुहुन्छ। अनि त्यसपछि IT सेक्टरमा यु विल बी डुइङ सम न्यू थिङ्स, सम एडिसनल थिङ्स एन्ड सम इनोभेटिभ थिङ्स, त्यो गर्नुहुन्छ भन्ने मेरो पुरा विश्वास पनि छ। सामान्यतया यस्तो कार्यक्रमहरूमा म आउँदिनँ थिएँ कि आज आएको चाहिँ नि तपाईँहरू 7 जनाको लागि आएको। यहाँहरूलाई कमसेकम हौसला दिउँ, कमसेकम चाहिँ नि यहाँहरूले चाहिँ नि आफ्नो फिल्डमा राम्रो गर्नको लागि जुन आजसम्म प्रयास गरेर आउनुभयो त्यो गर्नको लागि अझ बढी चाहिँ नि यहाँहरू इन्करेज भएर जानुहोला भन्ने चाहिँ नि मेरो एउटा विशेष आग्रह, विशेष शुभकामनाका साथ म यहाँ आएको हुँ। अब अघि सुपलजीले भन्दै जानु हुँदाखेरि पनि हामीले केही कुरोहरू बुझौँ। यहाँहरू 7 जना भोलि एक दिन यहाँनिर प्रिपरेसन र पर्सि ब्याङ्कक जाँदै हुनुहुन्छ रिजनल प्रोग्राममा भाग लिनको लागि त्यो एउटा ग्रेट प्लेटफर्म हुन्छ जस्तो लाग्छ मलाई किन आइटीको फिल्ड भनेको म त अब त्यति धेरै बुझ्दिनँ भलै मन्त्रालयको नेतृत्व गरेर बसेको छु म युजर चाहिँ हो आइटीको आफूले इनोभेट गर्न जान्ने कुरो पक्कै पनि भएन त्यसैले गर्दाखेरि यहाँहरूलाई त्यहाँनिर नयाँ डाइमेन्सन्सहरू आइटी फिल्डको नयाँ डाइनामिक्सको बारेमा पक्कै पनि नयाँ कुरो सिक्ने अवसर पनि पाइनेछ अब अहिले 5Gकै कुरोहरू गर्नुभयो क्लाउडिङको कुरोहरू गर्नुभयो यो सबै कुरोहरूमा चाहिँ नि नयाँ डाइमेन्सन्स नयाँ डाइनामिक्समा यहाँहरूले चाहिँ त्यो बुझ्न पनि पाउनुहुनेछ त्यसमा थप ज्ञान पनि आर्जन गर्न सक्नुहुनेछ र त्यसलाई भोलि आफूले आज जे इनोभेसन गर्छु र मेरो आइडिया यो हो भनेर जुन हिसाबले यहाँ प्रोजेक्ट पिच गर्नुहुन्छ नि अहिले पछि र योभन्दा अगाडि पनि जुन गरिसक्नु भएको छ त्यसमा चाहिँ नि आफ्नो आइडियालाई शार्पन गर्नलाई चाहिँ त्यसले मद्दत पुग्छ जस्तो लाग्छ र यसको लागि यहाँहरूलाई धेरै धेरै शुभकामना छ र मेरो शुभकामना त्यतिमा मात्रै सीमित हुँदैन त्यसबाट तपाईँहरूले त्यो कम्पिटिसन पनि जित्दै जानु होला र सिङ्गापुरमा हुने जुन ग्लोबल कम्पिटिसन छ त्यसमा चाहिँ यहाँहरू सक्षम हुनुहुनेछ भाग लिनलाई भन्ने मेरो शुभकामना छ हामीले अलिकति थोरै मेहनत गऱ्यो भनेदेखि त्यो गर्न नसकिने जस्तो पनि लाग्दैन यहाँहरूले जुन हिसाबले अहिले आफ्नो आइडिया जेनेरेट गरेर म यसरी जान्छु भनेर जुन हिसाबले आइराख्नु भएको छ त्यसमा थप शार्पन त गर्न सकिहाल्नुहुन्छ किनकि क्रस कटिङ इस्युजहरू थाहा पाउनुहुनेछ ब्याङ्ककमा क्रस कटिङ कुरोहरूले कसरी चाहिँ काम गर्न सक्छ र आफूले गर्न खोजेको फिल्डमा चाहिँ नि यसले के सहयोग गर्छ भन्ने कुरोहरू पक्कै थाहा पाउनुहुनेछ र त्यो थाहा पाइसकेपछि झन् आफ्नो आइडियालाई अझ बढी इनरिच गर्नको लागि अझ बढी चाहिँ इनलार्ज गर्नको चाहिँ त्यसले सहयोग गर्छ अलिकति एक्स्ट्रा एफोर्ट गरिदिनु होला जसले गर्दाखेरि यहाँहरू सिङ्गापुरमा जानुहुन्छ र नेपालको नाम पनि अलिकति उज्जवल बनाउनुहुनेछ आफू त त्यो फिल्डमा झन् अगाडि बढ्न सकिहाल्नुहुन्छ यसको लागि मुरी मुरी शुभकामना छ एकचोटि सबैले ताली चाहिँ बजाइदिउँ ल शुभकामनाको लागि हो मैले भनेको कुरोलाई होइन शुभकामनाको लागि चाहिँ ताली बजाइदिउँ भने हो अब जुन यस्ता खाले प्रोग्रामहरू छन् यो प्रोग्रामहरू बिस्तारै प्राइभेट सेक्टरले गर्न थालेको छ सरकारले यसमा कुनै हिसाबले कहिले मोरल होला कहिले चाहिँ अरू सपोर्टहरू त्यो सपोर्टहरू चाहिँ गर्ने नै छ हामीले पनि हाम्रा आफ्ना प्रोग्रामहरूबाट बिस्तारै यस्ता प्रोग्रामहरूलाई चाहिँ कसरी चाहिँ सपोर्ट गर्न सकिन्छ कसरी यङ्गर जेनेरेसनलाई चाहिँ यो फिल्डमा अगाडि ल्याउन सकिन्छ र आइटीमा हामीसँग अलिकति ह्युमन रिसोर्स कता कता कमजोर भइरहेको बेलामा यो आइटीको ह्युमन रिसोर्सलाई चाहिँ कसरी चाहिँ अझ बढी सङ्ख्या र क्वालिटी बढाउन सकिन्छ भन्नेमा हाम्रो पनि त्यो प्रोग्रामहरूमा केही न केही हामीले एड्रेस गर्न खोजेका छौँ र यस्ता कुरोहरूलाई कम्प्लिमेन्ट गर्ने र हाम्रो प्रोग्रामलाई यस्ता कुरोहरूले चाहिँ कम्प्लिमेन्ट पनि गर्न सक्छ भन्ने पनि मेरो विश्वास छ त्यसैले त्यो पार्टहरूमा हामी पछिका दिनमा पनि छलफल गर्न सक्छौँ वावेले बेला बेलामा यस्तो कुरोहरूमा मलाई कहिलेकाहीँ हामी यस्तो गर्न सक्छौँ भनेर पनि भन्ने पनि गरेको छ त्यो हुँदाखेरि हाम्रो पाटोमा हामी उहाँहरूलाई कम्प्लिमेन्ट गर्नको लागि चाहिँ आग्रह पनि गरिरहेका छौँ मैले आज धेरै बोलिराख्नुपर्ने जरुरी छैन यहाँहरूको सबै प्रोग्रामभरि आज बसेर यहाँहरूको प्रोजेक्टकै बारेमा पनि सुन्ने चाहिँ मन चाहिँ थियो नै तर मलाई भने चाहिँ 11 थियो पछि 11:30 भन्ने फेरि यसो गर्दाखेरि अर्को प्रोग्रामलाई मैले ओके गरेँ हुनाले म अलि चाँडै जानुपर्ने भयो हुनाले सबै चाहिँ सुन्न नसकौँला तथापि पुनः एकपटक यहाँहरू सम्पूर्णलाई हार्दिक बधाई दिन्छु अनि त्यसपछि सेलेक्सन कमिटीका मेम्बरहरू जसले चाहिँ डिफ्रेन्ट डाइमेन्सन्समा प्रतियोगीहरू जुन एप्लिकेन्ट्सहरू अथवा चाहिँ आइडिएटर इनोभेटरहरू हुनुहुन्थ्यो उहाँहरूको डिफ्रेन्ट डाइमेन्सन्सलाई हेरेर सेलेक्ट गर्नलाई सफल हुनुभएको छ उहाँहरूलाई समेत हार्दिक धन्यवाद र हार्दिक बधाई पनि दिन्छु र वन्स अगेन वावेलाई यो प्रोग्राम आयोजना गरेको र हाम्रा यङ्गर जेनेरेसनलाई एउटा इन्करेज गर्ने थालनी गर्नुभएकोमा पुनः एकपटक बधाई दिए र धन्यवाद दिँदै सेलेक्टेड साथीहरूलाई अहिलेसम्मको लागि बधाई र आगामी दिनको लागि मुरी मुरी शुभकामना भन्दै बिदा हुन्छु धन्यवाद
Dhanyavad, Sachivji, and thank you for those wonderful motivating words for our students. I really hope the students are now even more encouraged for the whole Tech for Good competition, because I am. So next, I would like to invite on stage respected chairman of the NTA, Nepal Telecommunications Authority, our guest of honor, Mr. Purushottam Khanal, for his address. Sorry.
Thank you, MC. Honorable Secretary of the Ministry of Communication and Information Technology, Dr. Baikuntaria, distinguished professor, media personnel, students, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Since my secretary and government dignitaries on the desk, please grant me permission to speak in Nepali. Okay. मलाई धेरै खुसी लागेको छ यो हुवाईले यो सीड फर द फ्युचर भन्ने कार्यक्रम आयोजना गरेर यसमा मलाई दुई शब्द राख्ने मौका दिएकोमा हुवाईलाई म धन्यवाद दिन चाहन्छु। हामीहरूले विशेष गरी हामी सरकारी ओहदामा बसेका पदाधिकारीले यस्तो हामी साक्षात्कार हुने मौका बिरलै पाउँछौँ। तपाईहरु स्टुडेन्टहरुसँग साक्षात्कार हुने मौका बिरलै पाउँछौँ। अझ यो मौका पाएर आज केही शब्द मैले तपाईहरु समक्ष राख्न पाएकोमा म आफूलाई गौरवान्वित भएको महसुस गर्दछु र हुवाईलाई यो दोस्रो इयरमा आयोजना गरेको यो सीड प्रोग्रामको सफलताको शुभकामना दिन चाहन्छु। यो नावैले पनि यो सीड फर द फ्युचर भने चाहिँ वी आर इन्भेस्टिङ फर द फ्युचर। अहिले हामीले सीड रोप्यौँ भने फ्युचरमा हामी केही लिन सक्छौँ भन्ने नै हो। र यो मलाई चाहिँ विश्वास छ कि हामी केही वर्षभित्रमै यो नेपाललाई चाहिँ नेपालका हरेक इन्डस्ट्रीलाई हरेक भर्टिकल्सलाई चाहिँ डिजिटल रूपान्तरण गर्न सक्षम हुनेछौँ। मन्त्रालय प्राधिकरण मन्त्रालय अन्तर्गतका अन्य निकायहरू नेपाललाई डिजिटल ट्रान्सफर्मेसनको लागि हामी कार्य गरिरहेका छौँ। यसले गर्दा धेरै अपर्च्युनिटिजहरू क्रिएट हुन्छ नेपालमा। सो हाम्रो यङहरूलाई अब विदेश जानुपर्ने अवस्था नरहन सक्छ, रहँदैन। यसका लागि हामी कमिटेड छौँ। यसको मतलब के भन्दा अब पछाडि पनि हामीले डिजिटल ट्रान्सफर्मेसन जति गरिरहेछौँ, यङहरू हामी कहाँ पढ्यो, इन्जिनियरिङ गर्यो, विदेश जाने भन्ने थियो, अब चाहिँ रोकिन्छ। किन डिजिटल प्लेटफर्म नेपालमै अभाइलेबल हुने अवस्थाको सिर्जना भएको छ। अहिले हामीले यो नेपालमा अहिले विगतका दिनहरूमा केही दिनदेखि चाहिँ यो डिजिटल प्रडक्ट र सर्भिसहरूको चाहिँ एकदम डिमान्डहरू चाहिँ एक्सपोनेन्सियली बढिरहेको छ। किन डिमान्ड साइड यति हाबी भएको छ कि सबै गभर्मेन्ट सर्भिसेसहरू चाहिँ हामीलाई अनलाइन चाहियो, हामी फिजिकल्ली जान चाहँदैनौँ भन्ने खालको चाहिँ उहाँहरूबाट आइरहेछ। यो चाहिँ राम्रो सुरुवात हो र यसले हामी यो सेक्टरमा काम गर्नेलाई एक किसिमको दबाब सिर्जना भएको छ तपाईहरुले चाहेको जस्तो प्लेटफर्महरू दिनलाई। र यो प्राधिकरणले के गरिरहेछ त डिजिटल ट्रान्सफर्मेसनको लागि भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ म यो दुई शब्द यहाँ राख्ने अनुमति चाहन्छु। यो डिजिटल ट्रान्सफर्मेसनको लागि यही वर्षको अन्तसम्ममा चाहिँ 4G सर्भिसलाई थ्रु आउट द नेसन सबै पिपुलको रिचमा पुर्याउने गरी हामीले कार्य गरिरहेछौँ। यो 2022 को इन्डसम्ममा चाहिँ 4G थ्रु आउट द नेसन अभाइलेबल हुन्छ। त्यसै गरी रुरल टेलिकम्युनिकेसन डेभलपमेन्ट फन्डको युटिलाइजेसनबाट हामीले प्रत्येक स्थानीय तहका केन्द्रका कार्यालयहरू, यसका सबै वार्ड अफिसेसहरू, सबै हेल्थ सेन्टर, हेल्थ अफिसेस र सबै अस्पतालहरू र सबै स्कुल्सहरूलाई ब्रडब्यान्ड इन्टरनेटले आबद्ध गर्ने गरी कार्यक्रम अगाडि बढाइसकेका छौँ। यसमध्ये स्थानीय तह, वडा कार्यालय र हेल्थ अफिस र माध्यमिक विद्यालयमा जडान कार्य सम्पन्न भइसकेको छ। मलाई यस्तो चाहिँ विचार आउँछ कि जुन बेला चाहिँ हाम्रा सबै स्टुडेन्टले त्यो रेगार्डलेस जियोग्राफिकल बाउन्ड्रिज काठमाडौँको जत्तिकै ब्रडब्यान्ड सर्भिसेस चाहिँ सबैको लागि अभाइलेबल होस् भन्ने चाहिँ म कल्पना गर्छु। र हुन त त्यसैको लागि नै हामी यो मध्य पहाडी लोकमार्ग भएर चाहिँ अप्टिकल फाइबरको ब्याकबोन विस्तार गर्ने काम गरिरहेछौँ। जुन ब्याकबोन चाहिँ प्रत्येक जिल्ला सदरमुकामसम्म चाहिँ सेयरिङ बेसिसमा उपलब्ध हुनेछ। विशेष गरी म छनौट हुनुभएका विद्यार्थीहरूको लागि सफलताको कामना गर्छु र उहाँहरूको थाइल्यान्ड बसाइ सुखद रहोस् भन्ने कामना गर्न चाहन्छु र सक्सेस हुनुहोस् भन्ने शुभकामना दिन चाहन्छु र तपाईहरू नेपालको प्राइड हुन सक्नुहोस् भन्ने शुभकामना दिँदै बेस्ट अफ लक भन्न चाहन्छु। धन्यवाद।
Dhanyawad, sir. Next on the agenda, I think I would like to invite Mr. Jason Lee on stage to present the token of appreciation to our guests of honors. So first, we'll start with respected Secretary, sir, and we'll present the token of appreciation. So first, you can go on. Next, I'd like to invite our CTO, Mr. Matian, to present the next token of appreciation to our guest of honor, Mr. Purushottam Khanal, Chairman of NTA. Thank you, Mr. Ma. Next on the agenda, we have a group photo. तर सचिव सरको समय availability कस्तो छ त्यस अनुसार चाहिँ हामी अहिले group photo गर्छौं कि? So maybe we can have a group photo with everyone, our selection committee members and our guests of honors on stage. Thank you, everyone. So next we have addresses from our selection committee members. So in our selection committee, last year we had Professor Dr. Sachidhar Ramjoshi, Dean of the TU Institute of Engineering, Professor Timilaya Thapa from TU, and Professor Dr. Subarna Shakir. This year we also had Professor Dr. Manish Pokhriyal, Dean of the KU School of Engineering. Our selection committee has been a very, very wonderful addition to this program. They've been very involved, and we're very thankful for all that they've done for us in the past 2 years. So let's hear from our selection committee members. First, I'd like to invite on stage Professor Dr. Sachidhar Ramjoshi for his address.
No, it's on now. Thank you very much. So since we do have foreign participants, so it will be better to speak in English so that everybody they all understand. All the dignitaries in the dais and all ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for inviting me in this Seeds for Future, that is for the budding talents of Nepal. And these budding talents of our country can contribute in the international scenario. So first of all, let me congratulate all the 7 budding talents. And they were selected with lot of rigorous exercise. They had to face a lot of questions, and they answered the question in proper ways. So I do recall last year, if I just make the comparison between last year and this year selection process, last year the students, they were not so much prepared. But this year, actually, they collected a lot of information, and they were totally prepared, what I can say. So I want to congratulate all these 7 budding talents again. So their stay in Thailand, it will be very much prosperous and useful. And let me wish best of luck to you guys, that you will be selected for Singapore also. Let me wish best of luck to you. And lastly, I want to thank Y Company, because they are establishing research lab to the Institute of Engineering. So we are going to start the lab very soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Next, I'd like to invite on stage Professor Timilaya Mitapa for her address.
Oh, I think we all have heard a lot from the Secretary of Sanchar Mantralaya and Director Khanal, and the Dean of Institute of Engineering. So you already had a lot of congratulations. And मेरो चाहिँ congratulations plus lot of worries. पीर लागिरहेछ. कहाँनिर पीर लागिरहेछ भन्दाखेरि, all these 120 students from 120 countries in Bangkok, the selected ones are going to move to Singapore. And in Singapore, as I heard in this one of the speeches, there'll be a lot of investors. So I'm very worried. So these 7 students are going to be exposed, and hopefully they will be also succeeding in getting across to the such investors. So coming back to investors, meaning they will be investors from global companies, there'll be investors from social sectors, there'll be investors from researchers. So many, your sky is going to be filled with investors. On top of that, blockchain, fintech companies are going to be after you people. Just imagine, I'm worried that our stakeholders in Nepal, like government of Nepal, academia, researchers, social service developers, all these people, all these stakeholders need to be engaged in generating seeds for these young talents. And the criteria, I feel, my suggestion, my very strong suggestion is encourage even the younger ones. You should be the ambassadors to the younger generation, your younger generations, to emerge as very passionate. So these innovations, behind innovation, you have sky full of investors. And fintech is going to actually like use, like in 2 years, COVID period, the startups in US have doubled. Startups all over India and regional countries have grown massively. And they are young entrepreneurs employing young people, passionate people. And so along with passion, if these passionate children, students are not surrounded by resources, if they are not resourceful, they are going to be very frustrated. This is what I feel, and that's where my worries lies. I am very worried that ministry, by special request to Sachibji, please engage private sectors. Please engage lot of social service deliveries. For example, 17 goals of United Nations, SDG, sustainability, okay? We had COVID, we went through COVID bravely. We went through earthquake bravely, floods and everything we went through bravely. We talked about recovery, and recovery for have-nots. And that's where innovation is required. And that's where girls and women are required. And I'm so happy that Dr. Joshi and Subarna Shakir, very women-friendly selection partners I had. And I was very successful, and I'm sure they themselves came forward. Ki larki loko. Get the girls into this team. And I'm very happy. My best wishes to girls and also to the boys. Partner with girls, because there is going to be a lot of projects for girls. Resilience is the word now. Resilience, recovery doesn't take place. Recovery programs, a lot of tools and programs have launched, but a lot of them have failed because of the lack of resilience. And resilience and sustainability demands women and girls' empowerment. And ICT, along with these women, and the program in inclusiveness and diversity, that is where the boys and the men, everybody has to get together, that they get empowered. In return, they also get empowered. And this is where I see huge amount of opportunities, but I'm worried that our government, our ministers, they also have to be, I feel they need to be educated also. Bring them into the programs like this. Last time we had education minister, I threw a lot of words on investment, and I was wishing that information communication minister would be here to listen to us, and I would like to request media partners, our great friends of this nation, to educate the society, write whatever good words, write whatever good messages you have collected from this session, and I hope you'll take us across the entire society. My best wishes to all of you, 7 of you. Hope we all will wish that you will reach Singapore. Reaching Singapore means reaching the investors. And that's where we have to score. And the academic curriculum, I would like to tell, I was in education, I was teaching for 35 years. It's the universities, academia, everybody has to position very strongly to have this seed for future, the real seed for future coming to reality. Thank you so much for giving me space. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Next, I'd like to invite on stage Professor Dr. Subarna Shakir for his address.
Thank you. Good afternoon, guest of honors, Dr. Vaikunth Aryal and Mr. Prustam Khanal, and likewise our selection committee member, Professor Dr. Sasiram Joshi, Timila ma'am, and all the students, organizer, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for inviting me here to speak few words. मैले अब धेरै बोलिराख्नु पर्ला जस्तो लाग्दैन किनभने धेरै कुराहरू आइसक्यो शशि सरबाट टिमिला म्याडमबाट सचिवज्यूबाट हाम्रो पुरुषोत्तम खनाल सरबाट त्यसकारण चाहिँ सो आई विल म के भन्न चाहन्छु भन्दाखेरि जुन तपाईहरु 60 जना 7 selected in this Seeds for Futures, you are going to Thailand and you can work very hard for your next destination. That means for the Singapore को लागि select तपाईहरु हुनुहोस्. So हाम्रो चाहिँ शुभकामना छ. We are best wishes and good luck to you. र त्यसपछि आएर then after that the sevens, they are all from the IT field. In Nepal, there is digital framework is going on to implementation, as well as the digital transformation already mentioned by Prustam Khanal sir. So we have so many need to develop in our country in ICT sector. ICT we can use as a tools for develop the nation, so that this is the one of the most important key play role by the Huawei company. Huawei company can help us to develop the infrastructure also. And Tribhuvan University also, most of the devices are the Huawei companies. So, and the near future, they are also investing in our Institute of Engineering, Huawei Labs. And that's why the Huawei company, one of the working in the IT field, they are not commercialized, but they are working in the social field also. The social works and encourage the student is the most important part for the company. And another is the, I request them, some industry, academic collaboration is the most important. They can give job for the Nepali students and they can provide the research facility to our students, research platform, and some infrastructure development is the most important. र म अन्तमा जुन 60 जना सेलेक्सन भएका विद्यार्थीहरूलाई म एकदमै उनीहरूको चाहिँ प्रगतिको लागि शुभकामना दिन चाहन्छु. यसका साथै हुवाई कम्पनीलाई म विशेष धन्यवाद. Thank you to Huawei company for such type of project. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So you 7 जना विद्यार्थीहरुको बारेमा चाहिँ हामीले धेरै सुन्यौं. We've already heard a lot about these 7 students. Now it's time to hear from them. I would like to invite on stage Pragya Malik from KU. She will be delivering her address on behalf of all our 7 selected students. Please welcome her with a huge round of applause.
Thank you so much, selection committee members, for your wonderful and kind words. We'll definitely take those to heart and make you all proud. Good afternoon and namaste, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to start by thanking everyone for your presence here today. It's truly an honor to be speaking to you all. My name is Pragya Malik, and I'm a participant for this year's Seeds for the Future program. I'm currently an undergraduate student studying electrical and electronics engineering, majoring in communication at Kathmandu University. Seeds for the Future program is Huawei's global CSR flagship initiative dedicated to bringing STEM students from all over the world and mentoring and training them to successfully digitally transform in today's dynamic world. For more than 10 years, Huawei has aimed to develop local talent, enhance knowledge transfer, encourage participation in the digital community, and promote a greater understanding and interest in the ICT sector. So on behalf of all the Seeds of the Future participants of this year, I'd like to thank Huawei for providing us this fantastic opportunity to be a part of that aim and help us learn from industry professionals and implement those learnings in real life. I had never imagined I'd be selected as one of the 7 students to represent Nepal at such an international level with 6 other brilliant minds. To be honest, it did seem a bit daunting at first. Being the only communications and electronics major in the group, I had to step out of my comfort zone and meet with equally brilliant and talented members in the group. It has only been a one short month that we've known each other, yet we work together so well, empower each other, and synchronize in perfect harmony. Each of us are so driven, passionate, and have such unique capabilities and values that we add to the team that I cannot help but extend my heartfelt gratitude to the selection committee members for picking such a wonderful team to represent Nepal at our first ever regional event in Bangkok. So I'd like to take this moment to thank my team leader, Jatin Bhusal, and my fellow teammates, Bansas Podal, Nirman Kharka, Riya Baidya, Nadika Podal, and Aju Tamang for making this all so easy and most essentially fun. I'd also like to extend my gratitude to the Huawei team and event managers who have been working so hard to make this event successful, including Mr. Supral Rajosi sir, Ms. Anugi ma'am, and Chris Creations for their continuous support and guidance. At Seeds for the Future program, so far, we've already gained so many wonderful life lessons and practical knowledge on ICT from industry visits and how the recent advancements in digital technology is transforming the ICT sector. And in our main event at Bangkok, we'll be learning more from industry professionals on the latest ICT trends, such as 5G, cloud computing, AI, digital commerce, cybersecurity, and more. We'll also learn to develop leadership qualities and intercultural capabilities, which are extremely beneficial for culture, business, and networking. During our stay in Bangkok, we'll also be participating in the Tech for Good project, which is a group work that we will be doing to help solve any environmental or social issue with the help of technology. We will be competing with all the other teams from the Asia-Pacific region for this project. And for today, we have prepared a short speech that my teammate Aju Tamang will be sharing with you all shortly. And lastly, I'd like to say how excited and grateful we are for the next 10 days in Bangkok and hopefully the week after that in Singapore. We're all looking forward for new learning experiences, making new friends and lifelong memories. The knowledge and the skills that we earn from the event will not just end with us. On our return, we aim to use and implement those knowledge to help solve the issues and the challenges that Nepal is currently facing with the use of technology. We also want to contribute to Huawei's aim of developing 2 million ICT professionals globally within the next 5 years by mentoring and training ICT students right here in Nepal. And I'm really confident that we'll do the very best to bring this aim to fruition, inspiring and motivating many others to do the same. So lastly, I'd like to conclude by wishing my team all the best for the upcoming days. I'm really looking forward to working with you all, and most importantly, I'm looking forward to having a lot of fun. Thank you.
Thank you, Pragya. And next, we've been talking about the Tech for Good global competition a lot. So Tech for Good ko लागि चाहिँ हाम्रो विद्यार्थीहरूले चाहिँ they've developed this idea using blockchain and AI, and they've prepared a short presentation. So they're going to talk about the idea that they have developed over the past 1 month or so. And to do the presentation, I'd like to invite on stage our other finalist, Aju Tamang.
Okay, this is really cool. First of all, let's get started, right? First of all, I want to say, good afternoon, Aina. So, and yeah, that's it. So, without further ado, let's continue, right? So, today, first of all, I want to thank to everyone for, having me here. So, yeah. So, first of all, good afternoon, namaskar, namaste to everyone. So, we come up with a lot of ideas, and right now we have only one idea that really has a really great impactful to our social and a lot of things, right? So let's get started, right? So the first question is, okay. So what is problem, right? So people have a lot of problems, like either it is our professional life or academia or personal one. So we try to figure out in a really in a new way, like how we can resolve these problems, right? So one of the problems that we in our society is there are a lot of problems, right? So that can be either in transport, health, education, or maybe anything else. So Troy, in terms of our project ideas, so we are having a lot of research. So based on the research, we are trying to figure out the problems. So the problem is about the how can you know that whether your product is genuine or not? Let's say you go to the clinic, right? So when you go to the clinic, you might get a medicine by your doctors or pharmacist, right? But how can you confirm that this medicine is really genuine or not? So in order to confirm that, so we have our own products like MVP ideas, so to resolve these ideas. So according to the research and figuring out a lot of these, yeah, around 10.5 to 10, 15%. There are a lot of products which are being faked and scammed, and yeah, and our health just get degraded, right? So that's the issue. I'm sure you guys have experiences this kind of problem. Let's say you go for try to have some products, right? Let's say bread. So and when you go buy that bread, there might be some kind of expiry. How can you confirm this is really this product is going to expire on these days? People can replace those things so that the people's buyers can consume, right? So that's the issue. So in order to resolve this issue, we come across our idea, and yeah, and that is Ayurveda. So I like to conclude here something really in a technical term. So there are two things really hard in computer science. The first thing is invalid cats, and another is naming convention. So after for the naming convention, we gathered and we discussed a lot of it. It took more than a week, So and finally we got naming convention Ayurveda. So it's derived from the Sanskrit, so its meaning is pure. So we talk about the problems which are fake, which are unpure. So in order to beat those problems, we came across Ayurveda. So yeah, and that's how Ayurveda comes here, in order to pure those things and consume us. Okay, let's get next slide. Yeah. Now, you might be curious about what Ayurveda is, right? So you know the meanings it's a pure thing, stuff. So, but I really wanted to conclude that how it really works and what it really does and how it functions, right? The first thing is we have two functional roles for our ideas. So this majority is to one of them. One is the validation and the detection. Okay, so talking about the detection and the validation, first let's come about the detection one. So we have our own systems, so that can be accessible via app or a mobile app, right? So let's say a users consume that app, which we are going to build off in the next, in Thailand and respective countries. So what we really do is, first of all, we need an input something, right? So, and to input those data, so we need some kind of images, right? So we will figure out the input images of the objects. So once we carried out something like QR or some data, so we feed up those things, right? And once we detect that, we will verify it, whether it is a genuine or not. So the whole this ecosystem goes on our systems. So which I'm going to talk in later on in a really deep dive into technical. This is just a layman term, what it really does our product. So basically this is an app where we take a photo. And once you take the photo of the medicines or any kind of grocery products, it try to verify, hey, this is the genuine one or not. Otherwise, you might be the victim of scammed and getting scammed and a lot of losses on your health too. And yeah, this is the idea. So that's how our Ayurveda functions. Now let's get started into our like what's working under the hood, right? So you might be a lot of people like curious how we really build up these things, the systems, the whole architecture want. Okay. Sounds really cool here. A lot of terms like cloud, DB, AI, blockchains, or Kubernetes, right? The first thing is here, you might recognize the Huawei, right? So Huawei is a lot of products. So one of them is the cloud services, right? So what we're trying to figure it out, every infrastructures of our applications or our microservices which will run, all these are based on our Huawei cloud. So basically, the whole infrastructures and the fundamentals things stop what we really try to do in our production. All the bases are in our Huawei cloud. And yeah, and it provides a lot of services. So one of them is compute, network, and storage, right? So these are the fundamental terms of the cloud computing. So basically, is our project is based on the blockchain network. So the database, what we have in choosing here is a MongoDB, which is really, really highly scalable, and it's kind of working like a key value store, like a dictionary one. So that's how we are implementing in our product, in our blockchain app. So yeah, and about that, we came across about the detection, right? So how do we detect that thing, like verify whether this object is really genuine or not? So for that, we are using AIs, some services, especially the image processing library stuff, so which are also being services by Huawei Cloud. So basically, yeah, everything's are dependent on Huawei. So talking about like blockchain and Kubernetes, and these are kind of interrelated each others, I would like to say in our product. So the first thing is, in order to build out the product, ship the product, and in order to make a really highly scalable one. So let's say you have the users around 1 lakh. How can you scale that application? The whole scale platform is going to be provided by Kubernetes. And in the Kubernetes, we are setting up the blockchain network. So there are a lot of open source projects. So one of them is Hyperledger Fabric Networks. So we will set up those things and wrap up our whole deployment stuff and ship to the productions and staging a lot of branches of our product. And that's how our whole systems, how it really works under the hood. And yeah, about the AI part, so we are kind of in the stage of like hybrid. We are using also the Huawei Cloud's AI services as well as the Kubernetes one, so compute one. So there might be required a really, building a models in a really having a lot of use, consumption of RAMs and GPU, right? So in that terms, we are using the Kubernetes platform. So under the hood, it's all about compute, storage, and networking, yeah. And that's how our users can, access it. And yeah, that's it. I think that's a wrap up here. I'd like to thank to everyone here. And yeah, I'm really grateful here. Thank you.
Thank you, Azu. And I'd also like to invite the team leader for this year's Seeds for the Future, Jatin Busal. Maybe you can summarize that idea for us.
Thank you so much, Suprel sir. All the respected delegates, my fellow teammates, and all the guardians and ladies and gentlemen present here. I am Jatin Busal, and I'm one of the 7 Seeds for the Future participants, and I'm also leading the team this year. So first of all, thank you so much, Azu, for this amazing presentation. Talking about the idea, so basically the theme of the idea is to detect the counterfeit or fake products that are existing in the market. So what we're trying to do is, we're trying to develop a system which can easily detect the fake products, especially those products that directly impacts our life. Well, that could be medicine, that could be food, that could be cosmetics. People are dying. Like in the globally world, in the context of Nepal, in every medicine that we consume, 10% of the medicines are fake. Talking about the global economy, the global medicine industry is of $3 trillion, among which $50 billion is in loss because of fake medicines. Like in the recent time also we have heard that people were actually selling water as COVID vaccines. That's a terrible issue. So that is what we're trying to solve today in this platform, and as we'll be presenting in Bangkok, we have chosen the name Advait, which stands for purity in Sanskrit. So basically, our theme stands in 2 technologies, the blockchain and artificial intelligence. So from the manufacturer to the customer, we'll be tracking the product as it has been designed by the manufacturer, and the customer themselves, they can be assured that the product they are getting actually, that's original, that's authentic, and that has been verified by the manufacturer and the government, obviously. So we're trying to save lives. We're here trying to solve the problem of counterfeit medicines, and later we'll be expanding it to food and other cosmetics and other industries also. So I really hope that we'll be able to present this in a great way. I'd personally like to thank the selection committee for selecting us and my team for being such an elegant and amazing members while developing this idea. We are as motivated as we can be. We're as inspired as we can be. And today, in this stage, I'd like to assure you that we'll be representing Nepal as one of the best teams that they have ever seen, and we'll give our best to represent and go to Singapore. Thank you.
Thank you, Jatin. And that was the Tech for Good pitch. Hopefully, this pitch moves on forward, and we'll see Nepal move on to the next stage. I think we have the last agenda on the event now. I would like to invite on stage Subsidiary Board Director of Huawei Nepal, Mr. Jason Lee, to deliver his closing remarks.
Honorable Secretary Dr. Arya, Chairman of NTA, Mr. Kana, distinguished professors, representative of UNESCO, educators, parents and guardians, and friends from media. Thank you again for accepting our invitation to the opening ceremony of this year's Seeds for the Future program. I'm sure our finalist students are even more motivated by your presence here today. Seeds for the Future is our longest running global flagship CSR program. Since 2008, over 12,000 students from all over the world have participated in it. I'm very proud that this year we are sending 7 brilliant students from Nepal to our first ever regional Onsite program in Bangkok, Thailand. I wish them and their brilliant idea the best of luck for the Tech for Good competition. At Huawei, we understood that digital talents are the foundation of digital development. We are actively promoting the growth of digital talent in all 170 countries and regions that we are present in. I think we can all agree that Nepal has great potential for digital transformation. At the heart of this transformation will be talented young individuals. Through programs such as Seeds for the Future, we hope to contribute towards the cultivation of such digital talents. I really hope that the idea the students have developed for this year, they can turn into reality. As a leading provider of ICT infrastructure and smart devices, Huawei has remained committed to introduce the latest technologies in Nepal. Our goal has always been to create value to society. We have done that through our products and solutions, and we are currently working with government agencies, mobile network operators, internet service providers, and private enterprises, all with the mission of bringing digital access to every person, every home, and every organization in Nepal. We hope to build the foundation for the Nepalese digital economy by partnering with all ICT stakeholders through broadband connectivity, data center, cloud computing, and other latest technology. Through programs such as Seeds for the Future, we want to be able to give talented students from Nepal a platform for international exposure and learning. This year, the selected 7 students will be able to see firsthand the role technology is playing in shaping the future. I hope that upon their return, they can share their learnings with their peers. Lastly, I would like to thank again for all the distinguished guests for accepting our invitation here today. We hope to receive your support on Huawei events in future. Thank you everyone for your continued trust to us, and have a good day. Thank you.
Thank you, Jason. And with that, we've come to the end of the program. I hope you will join us for lunch. I would also like to invite all the students on stage so that we can take a group photo with our selection committee members and our guests. All right, students on stage now.